Now at 9, the Wood Farms Pumpkin Patch hosts their 3rd annual Family Fun Day. Plus fall fun at the Webb City Annual Road Harvest Party. And Pitt State students join together to enhance and update elementary school sidewalks.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Elise Snowy. Springfield police just investigated the city's 23rd fatality crash of the year so far. Joe Hickman has more on an increasing number of wrecks in Missouri's 3rd largest city.
It was 8:16 last night when Springfield had its first crash fatality of the day with that motorcycle car crash on Battlefield Road. But it bookended a busy day for the police department's traffic unit that had started with another motorcycle-related wreck at Sunshine and Kings Avenue at 10:18 that morning, when, according to police, the motorcyclist lost control and hit a truck. Counting those 2 events, there were 19 crashes on our city streets in that 11-hour span. There were 3 between 11 and noon, 4 between noon and 1, and 5 of the crashes were along Kansas Expressway. In all, 8 people were injured, with 1 fatality coming at the crash on Battlefield.
Springfield keeps growing, and so with that, we are encountering more traffic on the road. Our officers do stay pretty busy going to calls for service. We do see a lot of people using their phones, so we would just urge people to limit those distractions.
One of the Kansas Expressway crashes came after 2 men in this SUV were trying to get away after one of them allegedly stole items from a Harbor Freight store. But instead of getting away, they crashed the SUV into a truck, injuring 2 of its occupants. The 2 men in the SUV were arrested. Meanwhile, the crash at Sunshine and Kings is just 3 blocks from National and Sunshine, which currently has construction work going on for turn lanes and safety improvements. Unfortunately, that intersection was not safe last Saturday night around 11 o'clock when an Uber driver, stopped at a red light, was slammed from behind, killing the Uber's backseat passenger and injuring the driver. As for the 38-year-old driver of the car that hit them,
we do believe that speed was a factor in that accident, but I don't have any information to indicate construction work going on there was a factor.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us for a first look at weather.
All right, it's been a beautiful weekend across the 4 states, and it's going to stay that way for one more day, and then things are going to go downhill a little bit. We have some clouds mainly down toward the south, and that extends down into Mexico, where the remnants of Norma is now making onshore in northwestern Mexico. All that moisture is going to work its way up into our area as we head through the next few days. But temperatures tonight are going to be mild, generally in the 60s all the way down to about 60 degrees tomorrow morning with increasing clouds. Sending the kids out to school in the morning, we're looking at a temperature of 61 degrees, mild for late October. And then in the afternoon, look at that, 82 degrees under partly cloudy skies. We'll start to see those clouds increasing as we go through the day. And looking down the lane, we see those clouds increasing for tomorrow. Rain on Tuesday, a wet Wednesday, and a widespread area of rain continuing for quite some time. And I'll detail all that in the forecast in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Sam. Well, as the temperatures start to cool down, you might find yourself in the mood for some fall festivities. And what's a better way to celebrate autumn than at a pumpkin patch? Victory Life Church and Wood Farms partnered together to host their 3rd annual Family Fall Day.
Wait! Come over here, look at this. Oh.
Yeah, so this is our 3rd annual Family Fall Day. It's just something that we know that there's a lot of families in our community that sometimes don't have the necessary funds to go out and just spend a day with their family at a pumpkin patch. And so we were able to partner with Rich and Laura out here at Wood Farm Pumpkin Patch.
My favorite memory here is probably us going into the corn maze, and then I told them we should go this way, and then they go the opposite way. And then, well, it turns out I was right because that was the way out.
I would recommend it because your parents can just keep you here for a little while and get all the energy out. And then now the parents can just have some.
Family Fall Day features various attractions like a cakewalk and live animals. The church also gave away free clothing, including winter coats and gloves. Just on the corner of Madison and Doherty in Webb City was the annual harvest party hosted by the Road Church. The event featured games and activities such as bouncy houses, face painting, sports games, and more. Ultimately, it provides a space for kids to be kids and for everyone in attendance to have a good time.
Yeah, so personally for me, I was one of those kids that was in a low-income situation, that was high risk, come from substance abuse type family. And so for me, it's just kind of identifying with what kids are going through and to be able to provide something that maybe I didn't have when I was a kid, and to be able to just make kids feel welcome, warm, and love, and to feed them, you know. So personally, it's kind of everything.
This will be the 17th annual Harvest Party, and after today's success, they're really excited to host next year's. Student organizations at Pitt State came together to update and enhance George Nettles Elementary School sidewalks today as they painted sidewalk murals. The University Art Association, Kappa Pi Art Honorary Society, and other groups showcased their artistic talents while brightening Pittsburgh Elementary School's exterior.
So the art department is working on a series of crosswalk murals at each of the elementary schools. We began last week at Meadowlark Elementary in USD 250. This week we're at Nettles. Next week we'll be at Westside, provided the weather is good. And then we'll finish at Lakeside Elementary.
This was the second of 4 sidewalks the art department has enhanced. Well, folks in Chanute had the opportunity to learn how to swing and roll away to a half sachet today with Chanute Do-Si-Do Square Dance Beginners Lessons at Central Park Pavilion. Chanute Do-Si-Do is prepping for their New Year's Eve dance, and they're encouraging beginners to get their lessons in before the dancers ring in the new year.
I'd say that some of them just don't realize what it is. It's a lot of fun. I mean, there's a lot of laughing goes on. And one thing about it, if you make a mistake, nobody cares. You know, you just laugh about it and go on.
Beginner square dancing lessons will continue until December 17th. They happen every Sunday from 5 p.m. to 7. For more information on how to sign up, swing on over to our website at KOAMNewsNow.com. Later, CVS takes a popular cold medicine off its shelves. While the American Cancer Society reports the rate of breast cancer deaths has been declining for more than 30 years, health experts say the disease is proving deadlier for African American women compared to white women. Fox News' Ted Lindner takes a closer look.
With October marking Breast Cancer Awareness Month, health experts are calling attention to the racial disparities of the disease. While breast cancer is the second most common cancer among women in the U.S., the CDC says black women are 40% more likely to die from it than white women. Black women also have higher odds of developing breast cancer that's more difficult to treat.
African American patients have almost twice the incidence of triple negative breast cancer compared to Caucasian women. And triple negative breast cancer is one of the most aggressive subtypes of breast cancer that exist.
Heather Dunn of Clemson University says genetics can play a role in the racial disparities of breast cancer.
A lot of people are just genetically predisposed. The density of the breast tissue is quite important. The denser the breast tissue is, it greatly increases your risk of contracting breast cancer. And most people don't realize that African American women have much denser breast tissue when compared to Caucasian patients.
Meanwhile, the CDC reports roughly 240,000 women are diagnosed with breast cancer every year. Medical professionals say early detection can improve the chances of survival.
The earlier breast cancer is detected, it actually increases the opportunity for improved 5-year survival rates up to 95%. My advice to women is to begin your mammograms around the age of 40.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
CVS is taking some popular cold medicines off its shelves. The company's voluntary change comes after the Food and Drug Administration determined an active ingredient, oral phenylephrine, does not work. All medicines containing phenylephrine as its only active ingredient, such as common versions of Sudafed, Mucinex, Vicks, Allegra, and Dayquil, will be removed. The FDA says no safety concerns were found for the recommended dose of oral phenylephrine. Toddler milk may seem like a healthy option for your child, but a new report finds the product offered no nutritional benefit. The American Academy of Pediatrics published a clinical report Friday finding no nutritional benefits to formulas marked for toddlers between 6 months and 36 months of age. Meteorologist Sam Lane is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, a popular data genetics testing company investigates reports of hacking.
Well, friends, I hope you had a chance to get out and enjoy the really nice weather that we had across the 4 states this weekend, as we're going to see some major changes as we go through the forecast. Right now, let's start out this morning at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. And as we go into motion, you can see that we had mostly fair skies all day long. And then in the afternoon, we started to see some clouds moving in from the west and the southwest. That's ahead of the next storm system that's organizing now across the Rocky Mountains. And I wanted to start out and talk about the drought situation. We've been dealing with this for quite some time. This just goes to show you how bad it is. In Sedan, Kansas, if you go all the way back to January 1 of 2022, they're supposed to have 76 inches of rain. This is the ground line. This is how much they've actually had, 50 inches. So that's 25 and a half inches below where they're supposed to be. That just goes to show you how bad the drought is. But at least we're going to put a dent in it this week. Rain chances are going to be low for the next 24 hours, but then dramatically increasing as we go into Tuesday morning. And it's all because we have a major shift in the upper airflow pattern. Right now, we have the moisture from Norma starting to move up from the south and west, and on Tuesday, that's going to roll through. Then we have another piece of energy that's going to be moving in on Wednesday and Thursday, and yet another storm system behind that one, and another one behind that one. So we have several systems to roll through for the next several days, and that means the rain chances are going to be there through most of the week. In fact, rainfall amounts are expected to be quite generous, especially in the areas that need it most, and that's in southeastern Kansas. Look at Sedan, around 2.5 inches according to the GFS model, and the European model is even more generous with 3.5 inches. So we'll see if this pans out, but hopefully everyone is going to get a good dousing from these systems over the next several days. So let's break it down. Tonight, lows in the 60s with south winds. Then tomorrow, increasing clouds, maybe a few scattered showers down in Oklahoma with highs in the 80s. And then as we go into Tuesday morning, south winds, and here comes the rain starting to advance from the south to the north with lows in the 60s. And then Tuesday afternoon, the rain continues across our area, especially southeastern Kansas and northeast Oklahoma, with highs in the upper 60s and 70s. And then as we go into Wednesday, rain continuing with lows in the 60s near 70. And then Wednesday afternoon, cloudy skies continuing with scattered showers mainly to the west with highs in the upper 60s and some 70s as well. Then as we go into Thursday morning, here comes the next round of rain. As we go through the forecast into Thursday afternoon, you can see the rain spreading from west to east with temperatures in the 70s. So it's going to be a wet period for quite some time. This afternoon, we made it up to 78 after starting at 51, which of course was above the normals of 69 and 46. And we're 11, almost 12 inches behind here in Joplin on the rainfall. Hopefully we're going to catch up on that as well. Temperatures right now are generally in the 60s to around 70 degrees with southeast winds. Here's the forecast. Rain starts on Tuesday and continues Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all the way into Tuesday. Now, it's not going to be raining the whole time, but we're going to have these waves of rain moving across our area as we go through the forecast. And our first freeze may happen the Wednesday of next week.
Wednesday of next week, just before November, we finally get our
That's
first freeze.
exactly right.
All right, thanks, Sam. Coming up, Israel launches more attacks.
Israel launches more strikes on Hamas targets. I'm Madler Avera in Jerusalem, and I'll have what's next for Israeli forces.
23andMe is investigating reports of a new data leak. It might involve millions of users' records in Great Britain. A hacker claims to have leaked 4 million genetic profiles, including members of the royal family. The hacker goes by the name Gollum and published the genetic profiles on the cybercrime marketplace breach forums, citing anger at Israel and its supporters as a motive for the leak. Instagram is polling some of its users on its newest feature. The social media platform has given some users the ability to start a poll in the comment section of their post. The feature will look similar to polls in stories and will provide another way for creators to generate more engagement on their content. A judge orders TikTok to comply with a series of subpoenas issued by the state of Utah. It's all part of the state's long-running investigation into social media platforms and how they cater to youth. Fox's Ben Winslow has the details.
Good morning, everyone. TikTok was hauled before a judge over accusations it's refusing to comply with investigative subpoenas issued by the state of Utah.
The first subpoena was issued on February 6th. June 19th was the agreed upon date for fully responding to the specifications. Those are the questions that were presented in the first subpoena. And to date, 12 of those specifications have gone unanswered.
The subpoenas are part of the state's ongoing investigation into TikTok and accusations it's harming the mental health of Utah's youth with addictive algorithms. In a new lawsuit against TikTok, the company is also accused of not being forthright about its corporate practices.
I think it's unfortunate that this dispute ended up before Your Honor.
But TikTok argues it's been cooperating, and some of the state's arguments were made moot when they sued the company.
They suddenly filed this motion. The Attorney General did a bunch of press around it. The governor did press around it, and claiming that TikTok was refusing to comply with the subpoena. TikTok never refused to comply with the subpoena.
But you have to admit one thing, though. I find it very unusual that you put non-verified answers out in terms of discovery. That just doesn't seem to happen very often. And there seems to be, if you want to say there's smoke, there's fire, there's something going on there. If you want to say, here's all our answers, by the way, none are verified, and we can dodge back and forth if we have to later on. I don't know how other civil cases deal with that.
My understanding, Your Honor, is it's standard practice to verify the interrogatory answers when they're complete.
The judge rejected that. He set new deadlines for TikTok to turn over documents to the Utah Division of Consumer Protection.
I do find that that TikTok is in breach right now, and this is the way that they'll obviously purge that contempt charge.
Lawyers for TikTok had no comment on the judge's ruling outside of court. The Utah Attorney General's office says it remains to be seen if the company will actually comply with their subpoenas.
We are pleased with.
Up next, you can roast them, salt them, or even candy them. Today, the U.S. celebrates National Nut Day. It's time to celebrate a very healthy snack. Today, Sunday, is National Nut Day. Nuts are very nutritious and contain unsaturated fats, minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and of course, fiber. Not only are they a popular source of nutrients for humans, but also for wildfire. According to the Mayo Clinic, eating nuts can improve heart health, lower your chances of high blood pressure, as well as unhealthy cholesterol. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, the latest on the war between Israel and Hamas. A new crop of Republican candidates entering the speaker's race as we head into another week of voting and negotiations. This as a sense of urgency sets in, Congress unable to vote on key issues until electing a new speaker. Fox's Gernal Scott has more.
Nearly 3 weeks after the removal of former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, little progress has been made on finding his replacement. The GOP's razor-thin majority in the House means they need nearly everyone on board to elect a speaker. That's emboldened a small group of Republicans, since just a handful of no votes on the GOP side can sink someone's candidacy.
8 people seem to be the tail wagging the dog of over 200 people.
2 would-be candidates, Majority Leader Steve Scalise and Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, ended up withdrawing their names after not having the votes they needed, sending Republicans back to the drawing board. The standstill preventing Congress from taking any action on crucial issues like federal spending or approving aid for Israel and Ukraine.
If we don't have a Speaker of the House, we can't govern. And every day it goes by, we're essentially shut down as a government. The world's on fire, and this is so dangerous what we're doing.
9 candidates filed to run by Sunday's deadline. The highest ranking among them, GOP Whip Tom Emmer, has already earned the endorsement of his former boss.
This is not a time for a learning experience as speaker. Tom would be able to walk into the job and do it.
A secret vote with the GOP conference is scheduled for Tuesday. Congressman Mike Flood is encouraging Republicans to sign a unity pledge, promising to support whomever wins that vote. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us.
All right, thank you very much, Elise. It's been a beautiful weekend, but we're starting to see some clouds moving in from the south and west. That's moisture left over from Hurricane Norma as she made landfall in Cabo San Lucas last night. That moisture is going to be working its way up towards the north, and that's going to combine with the storm system coming in from the west, and that means a lot of rain, but no rain tonight. Temperatures in the 60s, dropping to about 60 degrees by tomorrow morning. So as you send the kids off to school, we're looking at increasing clouds with 61 degrees. And then as we head into the afternoon hours, the clouds really start to increase with a temperature of 82 degrees at around the time they come home. Down the lane, we're going to see those clouds increasing for your Monday. Rain on Tuesday with wet weather continuing into your Wednesday and widespread areas of rainfall, which we desperately need to help put a dent in the drought. And I'll tell you more about that coming up in just a little bit.
We'll check in with you soon, Sam. Israeli forces once again are bombarding the Gaza Strip with airstrikes today. It comes as calls grow for more humanitarian aid to be allowed into the region. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more.
More than 2 weeks into the fighting, Israeli forces are increasing their attacks against Hamas. Israel's military striking a mosque in the West Bank overnight, which they say was being used by Hamas and Islamic Jihad to plan an imminent terror attack. Israeli forces are stepping up their attacks against Hamas ahead of a ground operation in Gaza. They are once again calling on people in Gaza City to move south, saying they need to enter the region under the best conditions.
We will deepen our attacks. We will minimize the dangers to our forces in the next stages of the war.
Meanwhile, the first convoy of critical supplies entered Gaza on Saturday. Dozens of other aid trucks remain at the Rafah border crossing, though there are still concerns Hamas could confiscate future deliveries.
They are going to use all of those resupplies for their military, which is going to be fighting or killing the hostages and civilians that are in that region.
With the humanitarian crisis escalating, Palestinian Americans and other dual nationals have been waiting at the border to leave Gaza. Israeli officials say they're working to secure the right for those with an American passport to cross into Egypt.
Up until now, Hamas is causing problems. From our point of view, anyone who wants to leave with an American passport should be leaving.
The Pentagon says it will send more air defense systems to the Middle East to protect U.S. forces and help Israel's defense. In Jerusalem, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Aid supplies head for Gaza on board a Turkish plane today. Turkey sent a presidential plane loaded with supplies and a medical team to Egypt. The final destination is Gaza to help Palestinians in need. The plane has 20 specialist doctors. Turkey's health minister says the team will determine what's necessary for medicine, supplies, and devices. The Hamas terror attack on Israel Music Festival more than 2 weeks ago killed more than 250 people. One American woman who survived that horror is now sharing her harrowing story. Fox News correspondent Matt Finn has more.
We spoke with 28-year-old Natalie Sanadaji. She's an American citizen with an Israeli-born mother, and just about every year they go to Israel. Well, this year Natalie went to that Tribe of Nova music festival on October 7th when Hamas terrorists invaded and started slaughtering people. Natalie says at first she tried to escape by car, but eventually ran for her life on foot.
We started running, and truly every decision we made would have either saved our lives or got us killed. I remember after we had gotten to safety, one of my friends that I was with, while we were running, we passed by a ditch, and there were a bunch of kids hiding in this ditch, and they were telling us to come hide with them. And last minute, my friend said, we shouldn't do this. This isn't a good idea. If we hide in this ditch and the terrorists come and they're above us, there's nowhere for us to hide. There's nowhere for us to run. They're going to shoot us. So we decided to continue running instead of hiding in the ditch. And I later found out that the other kids who decided to stay and hide in that ditch got shot and killed.
Natalie says she ran for 4 hours solid and eventually found safety at a nearby town where she met a good Samaritan that let her hide in the trunk of a car to get to the border and out of Israel. And now that she's back in the United States, she says she wants to share her story to raise awareness that innocent people were attending that music festival. They were unarmed when the Hamas terrorists invaded and started killing them. In Atlanta, Georgia, Matt Finn, Fox News.
Meteorologist Sam Lane is up next with another look at the forecast. And still ahead, a Missouri repair shop tells us how to prep your car for the cold months ahead.
Well, folks, we are finishing up a perfect weekend across the area with lots of sunshine and warm temperatures, especially for late October. But things are going to be changing as we go through the forecast, but it's going to be a good change. We're going to see quite a bit of rainfall. All right, let's take a look outside right now at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Things are looking pretty nice. Clouds are starting to increase from the south, and that's ahead of the next storm system. And we've been needing rain for quite some time, and we've been talking about this slow motion disaster for quite a while. If you look at Sedan, Kansas, for example, they're supposed to have 76 inches over the last 2 years, starting from January 1 up until now. They've only had 50. That's a deficit of 25.5 inches of rainfall. You can see the gap here going all the way back to June of 2022, and that's how long they have been below normal. And so we desperately need some rainfall, especially for the folks and friends in southeast Kansas, and it looks like they're going to get it. But in the next 24 hours, things are going to be dry. But then as we go through time into Tuesday morning, that's when the rain chances really start to increase, and it's all because we're going to be seeing a major shift in the upper air flow pattern. Right now we have some moisture from Norma that's going to be moving up towards us as we move into Tuesday. And as that system moves up and away, we have yet another storm system waiting in the wings. That's going to be ejecting out into the plains as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. Then we have yet another storm system behind that one and another one behind that one. So we have a terrain of storm systems to go through over the week, and that means the rain chances are going to be with us for quite some time. In fact, some areas could get several inches of rain just where they need it, which is in southeastern Kansas. You can see on the GFS model, most everyone's going to get quite a bit of rain from this system as we go through the week. And the European forecast is even more heavy with the rainfall out in southeastern Kansas, again, where they desperately need that, and lighter amounts off towards the east. But everyone should get something. So tonight we're going to see mostly fair skies with temperatures in the 60s on south winds. Then tomorrow, increasing clouds with maybe a few showers down in Oklahoma with highs in the 80s. Then as we go into Tuesday morning, here comes the rain advancing in from the south with temperatures in the 60s. And then Tuesday afternoon, the rain continues across the area with temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And then Wednesday morning, might see a little bit of a break in the rain, especially down to the south and west with temperatures in the 60s. Wednesday afternoon, we start to see the rain developing once again out to the west with highs in the 70s and lower 80s. And then Thursday, here comes the next round of rain coming in from the west with temperatures in the 60s in the morning and then in the 70s in the afternoon with quite a bit of precipitation. This afternoon, we made it up to 78, which was above normal, but at least we weren't near that record of 86. And right now, we're looking at temperatures in the 60s and 70s on southeasterly winds. Over the next 7 days, get out the raincoat and the rain umbrella, as you're going to need it with temperatures in the 70s to start out with a pretty good chance of rain. And then as we go into the next weekend, cooler weather starts to move in. So some of that rain may start to turn into like a raw, chilly type rain, especially as we go into Wednesday morning where we could see our first freeze after Halloween.
Well, we certainly need the rain.
Yes, we do.
All right, thanks, Sam. Coming up in sports, the Pitt State volleyball team wins a historic game over the weekend. Plus, the Kansas City Chiefs face off against the Chargers. Highlights from that game and more coming up next.
The Kansas City Chiefs are playing a Sunday home game at Arrowhead for the first time in over a month. The Chiefs come into the game looking to take a commanding lead in the AFC West. Chiefs versus Chargers. Taylor Swift is back, and, well, it's starting to become a regular thing, right? Second quarter tied game 3-3. Mahomes scrambles, floats it over to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. MVS stays in bounds, scores the touchdown. It's 10-3 Chiefs lead. Next Chiefs possession, game tied once again 10-10. Mahomes to who else? Travis Kelce on National Tight Ends Day. Kelce takes it down to the 6-yard line. Let me tell you, that play was tailor-made. First down Chiefs and a salute from number 87. Very next play, Mahomes is going to take the snap, He will find Rashee Rice back of the end zone, keeps his feet in bounds, touchdown Kansas City. The Chiefs go up 17-10 at that point. And we even got to see a new handshake from Taylor and Brittany. Look at this. NFL media losing their minds here after seeing that. Chiefs fans losing their minds after seeing this play in the fourth quarter. Mahomes just dumps it off to Isaiah Pacheco. He does the rest to get into the end zone. Patrick Mahomes with 424 passing yards and 4 touchdowns on the day. Chiefs win 31-17.
The fans were incredible. What a day in Arrowhead. Beautiful day, first of all, and then you had the noise there. Pat had obviously a big day with over 400 yards. Kelsey keeps getting better with time. Taylor can stay around all she wants.
Little things here and there that I have to continue to be better at, but we're definitely taking steps in the right direction. I'll just say with the interception, just no one look at Quez, because that's who I was supposed to throw to, and he was probably another touchdown. So just cut him out of the picture when y'all look at it.
More NFL action from this Sunday. Bills versus Patriots, close game in the fourth quarter. Patriots lead 22-17. Third and goal. Bills take the lead off the Josh Allen QB sneak for the touchdown. Buffalo also gets the 2-point conversion, so the Bills lead 25-22. Next Patriots possession, second and goal, 15 seconds left. No timeouts. Mac Jones to Mike Gesicki. Touchdown New England, and the Patriots pull off the stunner to beat the Buffalo Bills 29-25. And one of the most anticipated games of the NFL season taking place tonight is the Miami Dolphins face the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday Night Football. Both teams 5-1 on the season. At last check, it's Philadelphia who leads Miami 24-17 in the fourth quarter. Well, the Pittsburgh State Gorillas have had, quite the weekend. From all their fall sports, football wins on Saturday at Northwest Missouri State. Men's, women's, and cross-country teams both win the MIAA championships. Plus, the volleyball team pulled off a historic win. Pittsburgh State volleyball had one of their biggest upsets in program history. The Gorillas take down number 8 ranked Nebraska Kearney Lopers 3-1. This is the first win over Nebraska Kearney since October 29th, 1983. Pitt State wasn't even in the MIAA back then. They were part of the Central States Intercollegiate Conference. Meanwhile, the Missouri Southern Lions were on the road over the weekend. Southern drops this one 3-1 against 21st ranked Washburn. Lions on a little bit of a losing skid after their loss on Saturday. Southern returns home on Friday versus Central Oklahoma and faces off against Pittsburgh State this Saturday. And the MLB playoffs are heating up as the Battle of Texas continues. In the ALCS, it's Game 6 between the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Texas looking to force a Game 7 as they currently lead the Houston Astros 4-2 in the 8th inning. If Texas holds on, there will be a Game 7 tomorrow night, and the winner would advance to the World Series. That'll be it for sports. We'll be right back with more news right after this.
With winter right around the corner, auto repair shops say now is the time to schedule your vehicles for winter maintenance. Chris Bryant spoke with the repair shop and fire protection on how to prepare for the cold, ice, and snow.
It's hard to think about winter with temperatures in the 70s, but as we get closer to that time of year, taking precautions now can save you headaches in the winter months.
The winter can be hard on your vehicles, from the additional time needed to warm up your car before putting it in gear to the salt from the roads that stick to it. But modern cars have been built to get as much gas mileage as possible with smaller engines.
Those engines will not tolerate neglect, or if they get a little low on coolant, a little low on oil, etc. And I've seen a lot of late model cars where people think, hey, I got a new car, I don't have to do anything, with catastrophic failures here in the Bay.
Tires are one of the most common concerns car owners have when it comes to the winter, making sure your tires have enough tread. Dustin Atwood with A1 Custom Car Care says there are other systems you need to keep in working order.
Making sure your heating system's working, defrost is working, windshield wipers, all that stuff. Some of that hasn't been used in a while, and then all of a sudden we get a cold snap, the car doesn't start, the defrost doesn't work, the heat doesn't work, and then you're trying to rush into the shop to get you taken care of so you can get on about what you're doing.
One good thing to have in your car is a winter car care kit.
You should keep a security blanket, some jumper cables, and if you have a jumper box, keep a jumper box in your trunk. Yes, it would be good to have a shovel and some kitty litter with you, but the best thing to do is, if you can, don't go.
In addition, Ebenezer Fire recommends that you let people know when and where you're traveling when it comes to driving in winter.
Make sure you let somebody know where you're going and what time you're going to be going through there. Make sure you got a phone that's charged.
Up next, Uber Eats releases its 2023 Cravings Report, and you might not believe some of these weird and wacky delivery cravings. Some things people crave may not be everyone's rave. A new list reveals some of the most unusual and top requests from Uber Eats customers. The company released its 2023 Cravings Report, featuring weird and wacky ways people want their food delivered. There are strange combos such as steak and jelly, condensed milk and avocado, and seaweed with pasta sauce. Here are some of the most popular orders: French fries, garlic naan, pad thai, miso soup, and a California roll. What is your go-to order for delivery?
Oh, probably pizza.
Pizza?
I'm pretty plain.
I like pad thai when it's cold and rainy outside.
When it's going to be that. You're going to be eating a lot of that this week, that's for sure. With temperatures in the 80s tomorrow, but then the rain comes in on Tuesday. And look at that. It stays with us all the way until the middle part of next week. Now, it's not going to be raining the whole time, but we're going to be having periods of rain. Some of it could be heavy at times, especially as we look into Wednesday, and then again on Monday. So we definitely need the rainfall, but the temperatures aren't going to be that bad.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of a rare deer fawn at a UK zoo. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us part of your night.